Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. So Tiara Brown, 36 years old, been fighting for, I think she said 20 years, 5'7" orthodox fighter. She upsets the WBC featherweight champion SKYE Nicholson, wins a split decision over SKYE. Both these ladies undefeated. Tiara moves to 19 wins with 11 KOs. SKYE drops to 12 wins with one defeat. And this was a very close competitive fight. But I have no problem with Tiara Brown being declared the winner. I thought this might even end up as a draw when the final bell went. I thought, I wouldn't be surprised if this is a draw, because both women showed, in a sense, they showed their limitations as well as their good points. Now, Tiara, when I'd seen her previously, I hadn't seen a great deal of her. I always thought her feet were a little bit slow, and she didn't have a big enough output to outpoint SKYE over the 10-2s. But SKYE pretty much, for huge sections of this fight, fought Tiara's fight. You know, in the first round, SKYE did her normal fencing. Well, she was sort of having a look at her, and, you know, I think one of the commentators described it as downloading information, which is almost becoming a cliche now, but they thought, okay, she's going to go to work now. But she never really got going. She never really found her rhythm, SKYE didn't. And Tiara was moving forward. When they got in close, there was a lot of scrappiness. SKYE was doing a lot of holding. And normally SKYE will, you know, there's a pure sort of counter-punching rhythm to her. She's got that wide stance. She's got very powerful-looking thighs and calf muscles. She's only got one stoppage on her record, but she normally uses those strong legs to sort of maneuver herself round, you know, hook off the hook, sort of fire counter hooks and check hooks, and she didn't really get to do that. And Tiara was moving forward, and gradually as the fight moved on, Tiara was getting a little bit closer, because, I mean, after 5 rounds I had SKYE leading, but these were, to me anyway, they were surprisingly competitive rounds. If you look at Tiara's record, she really hasn't fought many killers, you know, whereas SKYE had a far better resume. But SKYE was fighting almost down to Tiara's level. She couldn't find the rhythm. She couldn't find all that lovely movement. You know, she's not the most exciting fighter in the world, to put it mildly, but normally she will, you know, do the little semicircles and you know, hook, fire. She's Southpaw SKYE, so she'll fire the right hook. She didn't really get going, and gradually Tiara crept into this fight more and more and more. Like I say, that SKYE did a lot of holding in this fight. There was one incident in the, I think it was the 5th round, where Brown actually landed a couple of very good punches, but then SKYE fell in, and again there was some more mauling, and this was by the ropes. And then Tiara, I think she sort of fell and sort of half twisted her ankle, and you're thinking, oh, you know, is this going to be a factor in the fight? But all credit to her, she shook it off. And yeah, I mean, it's a very impressive, determined, sort of like a revelation really for Tiara Brown, because SKYE was definitely a quantum leap up in quality of opposition for Tiara. And of course, let's not forget that Tiara was in Australia winning this belt. SKYE, you know, has been groomed as one of Australia's, you know, leading lights, probably their most revered female fighter. And I have to be honest, I thought SKYE Nicholson would win this wide, you know, 8-2, 9-1 or something. Not a bit of it. All credit to Tiara Brown. She proved herself to be someone who, even though she doesn't throw that many punches, the pressure she puts on even a slickster like SKYE, it pays dividends. Now, I remember SKYE's fight. I've mentioned this in my preview. I remember SKYE's fight with the Spanish girl, Tanya Alvarez. And Alvarez just put it on her. I mean, just ran after, walked in the front door, throwing punches. And by the end of that, because Skye couldn't get rid of her, she was absolutely knackered. Alvarez was fine. She she could fight for 20 rounds. Tiara didn't have put that type of pressure on. It was a bit more, well, it was quite a lot more controlled. There weren't a tremendous amount of jabs coming from Tiara. But Skye never really got her jab going either. It was a strange performance from SKYE Nicholson. Very strange. I mean, I don't think she was intimidated or anything. Maybe, if anything, she was probably a bit overconfident. Because Brown's been talking a lot in the weeks, the build-up, and she even called her a coward and everything, said she was a keyboard warrior, all this crap. I don't think Skye was intimidated. On the contrary, I think she was confident, but maybe a bit too overconfident, perhaps. I do these review videos like 5 minutes after I've watched the fight, and I like to do that because, I don't like to second guess myself or, even subconsciously, alter my view, the view of what I've seen. But with this fight, I would like the dust to settle. I would like to have a think about it, maybe even watch it again. It wasn't a thrilling fight, but I'm just so intrigued by the the oddness of the performance from SKYE Nicholson. And I'd like to score it again just to see who won. A draw, like I say, a draw. I wouldn't have objected to a draw. I think a draw would have been a fair result. But then, are they going to have a rematch? I mean, this was a split decision for Tiara. She's got options now. I don't know whether there was a rematch clause in place. I don't think there was, because Tiara Brown was the mandatory, and you don't normally have mandatory rematch clause, or you're not supposed to. But maybe Eddie Hearn can get Tiara Brown in the ring with Skye again, and Skye can do what she should have done first time round. I don't know. So leave your comments below. What do you think of this? Let me know. And if you like the video, hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and spread the word about Joe's Son of Boxing. We've got the big one to come. Kambosos versus Wiley. I'll do a review of that as well. Until then, bye for now.